Hi everyone and welcome back to another Board No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to the rank 10 to rank 9-3 differences. This is probably one of the most sensitive ranks to upgrade to, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. As you can see, these are going to be the 10-3 recommended characters. Don't do Ilya. Ilya's gonna get absolutely bricked. You don't want to do that. She increases her own crit rate to the point that she becomes suicidal, and we'll jump into some other information. So this is actually an actual stat breakdown by the user Miss Nyara. So thank you so much for doing this. They definitely deserve this award because this is exactly what I wanted to see. I was going to do it myself, but thank you for doing this. This makes it much more easier. And this will give us like the actual stats versus just seeing an infographic like this. While I do appreciate the person who created this infographic, going into like the actual nitty-gritty details on how each character works is going to be more important. So let's go ahead and cover some characters that we should not upgrade whatsoever, and that's probably going to be Makoto. All right, so over here in pre-calc I have the settings to compare 10.3 to 9.6 because that's what we're going to be getting, and essentially we have normal Makoto right here. So you can see most of her stats, she's actually going to be losing some HP, physical defense, magic defense, and most of all she's going to be losing 15 TP boosts. That is an insane amount for someone like Makoto. This will brick her in a state that she will not be able to cast her UBs at the appropriate times, and God forbid that we do this because this is going to be occurring for multiple characters. Makoto isn't the only one in this section. It's also going to be Kairi, Akino if you do use her, Tsumigi, Hiyori. Hiyori is a big one because Hiyori, Makoto, and Kairi, they're huge for like physical attack teams. Not to mention even Ayane, even though she gets more crit, it's not worth it to lose that 5 TP boost. And Ninon, Mitsuki is a big one because she's a physical defense shred, and then Shiori and Suzuna, they lose 10 TP boost as well. So all of like the physical attack characters like Kairi, Makoto, Shiori, Suzuna, Mitsuki, Hiyori, you should not upgrade them. All right, so you can see in the infographic below, these are the characters that we do not upgrade whatsoever because they are going to be losing a massive amount of stats. It's really not worth it just because they get, I'll leave this in really quick, they get a little bit more physical attack, and Makoto doesn't really have any magic attack, so that doesn't really affect her. But just because she gains a little bit of physical attack right here, that doesn't like to take away from the fact that she loses so much TP boost that it actually justifies the amount of stuff that she's gaining to going to 10-3. So please be aware, do not upgrade Kairi and Makoto. Do not do it. If you do, you're going to be in a very awful state during clan battle because all of your timers are going to be thrown off. You're not going to be casting your UBs at appropriate times. Do not hit the auto optimize button, and ideally you left them at rank 9-5. I personally did not do that. So just in case you're wondering, if we jump into my characters right here and I talk about what like R95 is or R96, all that stuff. So R95 would be like these 5 pieces of gear right here, and then the top one, we are not supposed to have like this armor piece equipped, and the same thing pretty much goes with Makoto. Now what's interesting is you should have at least a couple clan members who keeps their Makoto at 4-star, then some folks who keep their Makoto at 5-star, because I've been noticing that 4-star Makoto is useful for some situations, and the Makoto at 5-star is also like situationally useful. So try to have like a blank comparison between like your different units when it comes to like Makoto and Kairi for experimentation purposes. I know like this is really odd, like why don't like the top ranks or like the top gear actually make sense? It's mostly because the Princess Connect, way is to have gear in a fixed fashion. So there is only certain gear that will go to specific characters, and one of the biggest things is we're going to be losing the elemental heart for a lot of characters. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you jump into Kairi, this piece of gear right here is insanely meta defining because it gives us 10 TP boost by itself, and the fact that characters are going to be losing this once they go to rank 10-3, that is why a lot of like physical attack characters specifically have to be worried. Now for magic attackers, like for example Carol, they never really had any like TP boost gear in the first place, so hence why when they jump to rank 10-3 it really doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and jump back in here, and we're going to talk about the characters that should actually go to 10-3, and that's mostly the magic units down here, which is Carol, Riko, Hatsune, and Misaki. Some are Suzume and some are Carol whenever we do get them. And then Maho, Yui, and Kyoka, alright? All of these characters, they gain a lot of benefits. They do get lower magical bulk, but honestly, you don't really care about magical bulk at the end of the day when it comes to these characters, because most of them are sitting in the back line and not really taking too many hits. And you can see there's some notes as here that also says 8-6 is no longer recommended for people like Yui and Maho, because they get extra bulkiness and they also get a little bit of attack and all that stuff, right? And then you can see here on the notes as well, you can see Kyoka and pretty much Summer Carol. I know Carol isn't on here. Oh wait, no, Carol is right there with Hatsune. So you can see all like the mages are pretty much going to be a recommendation, and most of the tanks. Just do not upgrade Ilya. They also explained why Ilya should not be upgraded at the very top. So if you go right here, Ilya gets 12 plus crit and loses magical bulkiness and also more attack, so significantly worsens her suicidal habits for a minor gain. So while she gains like some attack, she does gain a little bit of crit. Ilya will become more prone to killing herself, essentially nullifying her usage for some CB situation. So just please be very careful with the way you upgrade going into like 10-3, alright? Some other characters that you might want to look into upgrading is people like Kuka. Now they do like get like minus HP boost, but it's not a big deal. You could upgrade Pekarine as well, but she loses a little bit of TP boost, but honestly her UB isn't like the most amazing thing. But the only character that really sticks out for me from like this group is possibly, well, honestly none of them, because we don't use any of these characters really for clan battle. If you're using them for PvP, then maybe Kuka and Pekarine are the ones that you want to upgrade to, you know, 10-3 possibly. But honestly, everyone else just upgrade like Lima, Miyako, Summer Pekarine. These characters are worth it, as you can see like with the different stat breakdowns. And then of course we talked about Summer Kokoro, and she had like the 3+ TP boost, and you should keep her at rank 10-1 top right only. And if you're wondering why would we keep her at 10-1, I actually did the comparison earlier over here. So you can see like this little spear, like it's kind of hard to see, but this is going to be providing you more TP boost, 6 TP boost by itself. So this is the way Kokoro should be looking at 3 stars with that one piece of gear. I really want to like hammer home that we should not be upgrading any of our physical attackers and physical defense breakers. Kaori, Makoto, Mitsuki, Shuri, Suzune. Those are like our heaviest hitters in the entire like CB time frames, and if you upgrade them, you're absolutely going to make them like, you are going to be dealing significantly less like clan battle damage. So please be very careful with this round, I implore you. Even characters like Eriko and Mimi, Maharu, Saren, like all of our other physical attackers, it's not going to be recommended because they're going to be losing bulkiness. They're also going to be losing TP boost, and while they do get more attack, it's just really not worth it. So leave most of your physical attack characters within like the 9-6 range, and just upgrade your mages and any tanks that you use for PvP purposes, such as Kuka, Rima, Miyako, and Pekarine. You know, those are usually our tanks. And of course, try to leave if you did, you know, June at 8-6. I personally did not like upgrade June to, you know, I didn't leave her at 8-6, so it's kind of unfortunate. If you want to see it, like, we'll just jump back in here. Now, when your character does get bricked, like you do upgrade them, like for example, like my June is at 9-6. It's not like the biggest end of the world. It just means that these characters will be not as efficient as someone who's, you know, missing like this piece of gear right here. That way they can get more TP boost whenever they get hit. You can control their UBs a little bit better, right? So that's like the biggest thing with this is like, oh, I can get my physical defense break on the boss at the appropriate times. Hence why I want less defense on Makoto specifically, and that way I can control her UB so that it's before someone like, you know, Kaori's, because if Kaori casts her UB before Makoto, you essentially just lost on like maybe 20k, 40k damage depending on if you're critting or not. So one thing that I want to add into this video as well, since there's going to be a couple of new players who are jumping into the game, I feel that if you are newer and you're confused about everything, put all of your physical attackers at rank 9-5. If you're, you know, generally not knowing what you're doing, like just equip these like 5 pieces of gear and go from there. Same thing with Kaori, and Kaori's going to be this unit. You know, this is going to be very beneficial towards you, and try to focus on like a core 12 units that you can work on. Core 12 being, you know, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, because you only need 12 units in order to participate in clan battle. And as you can see here, there's not very much variety between like my teams, because most of it's like Makoto and Kaori. So feel free to check out the Google spreadsheets as well in case you are curious about, you know, what's like the best way to participate in clan battle, what are like suggested teams and everything. I'll leave it like all right here in case you were wondering. So these are like good templates. I know not everyone has Erisa, but you can can always borrow it. But for newer players, I really wouldn't worry about ranks too much. Also, like the perfect rank for newer players is rank 7. So it would be, you know, being at Carol, she'd be at like rank 7, and then she would have 6 pieces of gear. Normally, like that is a very good state. Anything above rank 7, like rank 8, rank 9, rank 10, it gets a little bit more controversial because you start like implementing TP boosts and certain like attack gains and everything. Rank 7, everything was so simple because a lot of the characters would gain benefits from it. They wouldn't brick them in any way. But now we're moving into like this weird territory where, for example, if you equip defensive gear, it makes their UBs harder to time, making them harder to use. That's just a tip that I wanted to include for newer players in case you were confused. Just leave yourself at rank 7, you know, 6 pieces of gear, and you will be good. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some PvP, and we'll jump into Princess Arena first. Let's go ahead and look for an opponent that I think that we are capable of fighting. I think this one is gonna be a-okay for us. Looking at all of this, we should be okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this and talk about a few things when it comes to rank 10 and my thoughts about it. I personally wish it wasn't so complicated to go from rank 9 to rank 10. I wish it remained simple, like when you went to rank 7 there wasn't like TP boosts and all this stuff, because the implementation of like TP boosts really messed with a lot of things. A lot of like the timings are greatly affected by how much like physical or magical bulk that you have. So just like those little things really affecting like how you progress within the game, and not really because you're equipping gear. I think that's detrimental to the overall progress, because if everyone just like had like the same gear, and if everyone just upgraded their stars, in most gacha games they'd be like, oh yeah, you have more stats, hence why it's better. But in Princess Connect, it's like, no, you want less stats for clan battle, you want less physical defense. It's like an anti sort of thing when it comes to PvP, because in PvP you want more stars, you want more gear so that you're generally more bulky and you have more stats. But in CB it's like the exact opposite. So there's a lot of systems in play in Princess Connect that sort of counteract each other, which I just find like very interesting and kind of odd that they designed like this TP boost system. Because honestly, if they did not have like the TP boost system where characters will gain certain stats based off of the gear that they have, then it wouldn't be nearly as complicated, and we wouldn't have to have like this sort of like should you rank up like sort of video that we're doing here. TP is just like the act of actually using the skill. If you cast your UB at a certain time, like for example the very hard boss that we have right now, if you cast Miyako's UB at the 1 minute mark, then you'll be able to stay invincible and dodge like the one hit KO. But if Miyako doesn't do that on time, then you essentially lose that fight. So it's like those really small interlacing like seconds between the minutes that will greatly affect like your performance between CB, Luna Tower, and all the different things. So really going to rank 10 matters a lot for this CB, because normally it would affect like the magic units. Like for example, it affect Ilia, which it does affect Ilia. If you upgrade her this round, she'll like essentially kill herself way more times than you want her to. Regardless of the point, it's just gonna get to a situation where a lot of people are going to rank 10 because they accidentally hit the auto optimize button, and then you essentially make your character underperform because they're not casting their UBs at their appropriate times, they're not, you know, using their skills at the correct times, buffs are sort of messed up. I just hate to see it, and I don't think it'll ever really get fixed because JP still has this issue. But at the end of the day, the thing that we can do as a community is you don't even have to share this video, just tell other people, you know, show like the Reddit post that we talked about earlier by Miss Nyara. I think that was really important because that Reddit post it speaks volumes onto why you actually do it, because it gives you a visualization of how TP boost is going to be affecting all these different characters. We got 40 seconds left until we jump into this arena fight, but I think we're good. Like as far as like this videos goes, I think everyone understands that if you're going to be upgrading like this week, just be very careful because a lot of the characters will be affected by the TP boost and stuff like that, and their stats will essentially be, you know, much worse moving forward. And I would hate to see like people just essentially not performing in clan battle just because they upgraded a unit when they should have left them at rank 9, 6. Hopefully with this video I helped you out on your rank 10 decisions. With newer players, just leave your characters at rank 7 and you'll be fine. Don't try to focus on like the crazy upgrade ranks, because honestly it's not really worth it just yet to like push certain characters unless you have a Makoto and you can get her to like a rank 9-5, then that'll be the best way. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once you hit 22,000 500 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day. Good luck in the upcoming clan battle and the rank 10 story that is going to be appearing very, very soon, as we can see right here. See ya and have a fantastic day.